12 a.m. Oh, son of a you-know-what. It's a one-take vlog here on Monday, the, I don't know, 15th, 16th. This watch has no date on it. The camera's probably about to fog up because it's super freaking humid. Today we kind of, well, I slept in way later than I wanted to. Then we made it a bit productive. We came out here and we started working on the 330. So we did the air conditioning last week. That's holding up. So far, so good. We reaffixed the headliner to the ceiling in the two small places where it was sagging. So far, so good. Now it's time to do the tie rods. So I've got that weird steering feel where it's really heavy and then lighter and heavy and then lighter and heavy and then lighter. And then when you go around a corner and you let go of the wheel, it's supposed to kind of, not snap back, but almost kind of snap back to close to straight or very straight. And it's not moving at all. You take a right-hand corner at 15 miles an hour and let go, and it stays all the way to the right. So it's like something in the steering is not as fluid as it should be. And when I had the wheels off, I noted that one of the boots is torn and the ball joint was rusting where the tie rod meets the steering rack, that car's rack and pinion, which I still maintain is nowhere near as good as rack and as a recirculating ball, which I know is quite controversial, and I like saying it due to that. But anyways, we took them apart today. Didn't really run into any big snags. We had to cut a bolt off though. The fact that those things are 2 years old and have 10,000 miles on them and they're so seized and rusted, you have to cut a boot off them is ridiculous, or a bolt. It's just crazy. They were Miley parts. We put in Lemforder, so a small upgrade there. Got everything done, put the car back down on the ground, showered, drove it, steering felt great. Linear, lighter, much better. Much better. We went inside. I forget, we did something, we ate maybe? No, we didn't eat. I don't know, we did something inside. Then we decided that we were going to eat. So we went out to the 330. It randomly just decided to pour down rain for 25 minutes today. Jumped in the 330, went to get pizza. Steering's back to how it was before. How the hell does that work? So the new tie rods fix it, give it a couple hours, go back to the car, and now it's broken again. So we're thinking that it is the steering coupler. There's a double U-joint. Pretend that this Accord is the 330. From the steering wheel to the rack is a steering column. In that steering column, there's 3 U-joints on the 4-wheel drive cars. There's one up here that has a thing on it that allows it to telescope with the wheel. I don't really want to replace that because it's way up there and you have to do it blind, and I don't think that's the issue. Then there's a double U-joint coupler down here with a steering flex disc in it. The flex disc itself looks okay. There's not much play in it. But if either one or both of those U-joints are seizing, binding, that's exactly the symptoms that I'm feeling. So I think tomorrow we're going to go over to LMS. Nate wants to meet Bill and see the place that's built the engine and does all the work around here. So we'll go do that. I'll talk to him, talk to the guys there, maybe let them drive it. And if that's the consensus, then we'll move on and try to figure out how to replace that thing. I am going to get to the bottom of this sooner or later. We needed tie rods anyways, they're done, didn't fix it. Now, why did it work for a little bit? Well, we were thinking that having the car up in the air for several hours with no weight on the wheels allowed that double U-joint to kind of flex, stretch out, whatever, just not having the load of the vehicle on it. And after having the load back on it for several hours, bound up again. I don't know if that's wishful thinking or what. The rack itself looked pretty good, felt fine in the air, all of that. But I think that's our next step. So with that, I'm tired. It's whatever, midnight. We've been watching Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee and the Grand Tour. First, I'd never watched that show. I haven't watched Top Gear since like season 14. I don't know how many seasons there were. I think over 20. Maybe like 24, 26. So watched season 1, episode 1. I really liked it. I know I've heard from everybody that the rest of that season's kind of poor. If I have the time, I will try to stick with it. I know things get better, and I watch it for entertainment. I'm not really into cars as much as everybody else is, racing and all kinds of different cars. I'm kind of much more specialized and picky, but it's a great entertainment show. So with that, I'm gonna go sleep. And tomorrow's Nate's last day. We might go to the pool. It's supposed to cool down a little bit. All the windows are fogged up. It's so foggy or so humid again. But we'll talk tomorrow on Tuesday. Good night.